Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Shashi, with you all on Global Women Dialogue Talk Show to create more voice for women and by women. And as you are seeing here, we are bringing here women from all around the globe. In the same series, today with us, our guest is connecting from us, New Jersey, USA, Maria Santiago. She is multi-award humanitarian and author. She is an educational diagnostician, mindfulness educator, applied behavior analysis technician, and many more. We will hear from her how she is utilizing, what way she is contributing with her own expertise in the society through her work, through her presentation, through her publication, and all. So let's dig and deep more in our today's talk show to get inspired, to get motivated from Maria. So welcome Maria on Global Women Dialogue Talk Show.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dr. Goel. Thank you so much for the invitation to join you at Global Woman Dialogue. I'm very honored and privileged to be in this space today with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria, and welcome here again. And as I was going through by your, introduction and your biodata, I was seeing you have published lots of work. You have, you have received lots of award globally for your work. So let's start talking about your interest, your life journey, how it all started and how it ended up being the way you are today, where you have receiving lots of award, lot of publication and well recognized. So share with us about you as a person, who you are, what you carry as yourself.
Oh, thank you for this. So my journey has been, is the result of what happens accidentally and what I have planned as well. And my life has been pulled out in two different directions. What I do in my professional life as an educator and what I do in my personal life as an advocate, an activist. So, and my personal time as an activist and an advocate, that's volunteer work. So those are the two sides of my journey. And as an educator, I am a seasoned educator. I started in 1992 as a teacher. And then at this moment, I'm still in a public school, but I moved to the child study team and I became the educational diagnostician in my school. I evaluate students to determine if they're eligible for special education. And in the evaluations and reports that I write, the narrative explains the individual's deficits and as well as their strengths. And I give recommendations of how to compensate those areas that need more support. As advocate, and also in my journey as an educator, I moved from the classroom to the child study team, but I also became, on my personal time, I became a mindfulness teacher back in 2015. But that became part of my personal journey, and then I brought that into my practice. After school, I did it for 3 years, almost 4 years, became a behavior analyst therapist for an agency of the state of New Jersey, where I provided, under the supervision of a BCBA, I provided therapy for children that had from moderate to severe developmental disabilities, cognitive disabilities, but mostly autism. Then as part of that part of my
So yeah, Maya, you was talking about yourself as you are an educator, you work with children. So please carry on.
So as part of, I would say, of my career, I wrote an article that was published in 2017 by the Journal of Childhood of Disability and Developmental Disorders. With that article, I make a presentation of mental health in France in 2018. Then I continue working on the article and it turned into a mini book. But the book is about bipolar disorder. I am not a doctor. And the voice in this book is for teachers and educators and what they should do in order to support individuals with this condition in an educational environment, what they need to do to help them succeed. So this is the book, and it's bipolar disorder, etiology and treatment. And I speak about mindfulness, medication, digital psychiatry, and classroom accommodations. So this is the perspective of the book. And it earned the first place in the Royal Dragonfly Book Award in 2019. I'm gonna see if you can see it.
Very nice, beautiful, beautiful. And Maria, when we are talking about your work, your life journey, and your passion, you mentioned that you was always interested to, you was always as an educator. You was teaching, you was working with children, and then slowly, gradually, you became a diagnostic expert, and you started working more in detail with children to understand whether what way they are required in different way as special education, or what kind of way they can get education. So share something about your work, like when you are working with children, how it seems like, and what kind of way as a parent they can understand, or they can have little bit or their own sense before it reach maybe some sort of way more higher or severe or mild. I'm not sure, but I would like to hear from you how one can, it can be helpful if you are sharing some tips or some kind of your experiences.
Well, I would like to tell the parents that having a classified student should not be a stigma, because sometimes they need that level of support to achieve their potential. And what happens is that level of potential starts fading out, because they might be very intense when they are in the elementary years, but when they go to the high school level, they might need less until they find and learn their coping mechanism to succeed in life as an adult, because they are not IEPs, because that's what I work with. I work with individual educational plans in my school. There are no IEPs in the working place or in colleges, but the students learn how to manage their learning and how they learn, and they're vocal about that. They learn, for example, okay, I would like to have this book in audio because I learn better listening than reading, or I'm more visual, or I need to do it with my hand. Or if they have difficulty with spelling, there are applications on their phones. And we tell our students that should not be holding them back from success. If they're worried about writing a paper, for example, they are in a job and their supervisor asks them for a document. Well, there are spell checkers, there's Grammarly, and you can use those tools and submit. And if because you're handwriting, then submit it in typing. And nobody needs to know that you're using those apps and tools to meet the demand in a workplace. And I have seen students, because Google has a voice recording. And I was working with a student recently, and we were reviewing vocabulary, and he had to submit vocabulary to a teacher, and he told me, Mrs. Santiago, I'm going to sit in the hallway to work on this. Okay. And then I hear him talking, he was just dictating the computer what he wanted to write.
Mm-hmm.
It was coming as a written document. And then he edited what he wrote. What he said, he said he has some it didn't transcribe the way it should be, but all the time, but what he did was some more or less edits, and then he submitted the work. So and he learned that on his own. So he knows that writing for him is a challenge, so he's using voice to write documents. His voice. As parents, once we see the early we see our children struggle, the better. And if we see them struggle in school, and you take them to tutors, you take them struggling with homework, they're procrastinating, have them get an evaluation, and then determine if this is not because they're lazy, it's because there's an underlying condition impacting their ability to learn. And sometimes there are cognitive processes that impact learning, like working memory, like processing speed, those two mostly, how they process information, how fast, and how much they can hold information to use it later. And
so Maya, when we are talking about these different tools, and I think it's not about special kids, but we all use at a certain time. Even nowadays, people are in hurry; they just send message even in voice instead of typing, right? So when we are talking about in our day-to-day life, we are so much adaptable with these tools, and we use it in our day-to-day life. But when we are talking about the school system, and we know some learn through visuals, some learn by speaking, some learn by writing, and some learn by reading. But when it comes of schooling or education system, is still there are categories when kids are not performing in certain way, they put them in a special need or special education, or when it comes to unified exam system, you need to appear in the writing, you need to fill those question answer form in writing. How you find that? What do you say about this?
Well, in my experience, that's by law, we have to offer the same accommodations in standardized testing, which are extended time, or a scribe, or many of them ask a reader. And if we don't have a reader, then they use headphones because the text has the ability to give them the voice. So now these tests are coming with those accommodations because they are realizing that not everybody, regardless having a disability or not all of us learn equal in the same way. Right. We have our own way of learning and of producing. And many of the tests now are typed. So if you notice, there are very few that still handwriting, but most of the tests that are coming now require the students to type. So legibility or handwriting is not being, those barriers are being removed.
So what message would you like to give to all our education system or parents and all, since you work with children a lot, and I believe you have so much experience, and maybe your suggestion and advice can be helpful for all our education system or for our listeners as a parents if they are listening, how they can understand that each we have our own ability of different way to learn, whether it's reading way or writing way, or whether listening or visuals. How we can, do we need to, what way you think we can understand or we should get in our system actually?
Well, as a parent, be very involved in the education of your child. And if the modality that is teacher uses more in the classroom is not helping your son or daughter, communicate with the teacher at an early age. That what are the students' difficulties? Sometimes they don't do homework, not because they don't want to. It's because they don't understand the concept, or mostly they know them. For example, in math, I know they know the reasoning, but they forget the process, and that is what we talked before. That is memory. Those are short-term memory, and for those things, those difficulties, the teacher needs to give the student like a card with the steps, because they might remember the first 3 steps, but not the other 4 until remember, those supports need to be faded little by little until the student has mastered it, because they're not going to keep it forever. Be involved in the education of your student. Don't be afraid to go to the school and email the teacher, and go deep into what exactly is holding your child to not succeed. Is because of the instruction that it's receiving? Is because of there's an underlying cognitive process that has not been detected? Is because of lack of engagement? Because the teachers listen to our parents. I mean, parents have a lot of power.
Yeah,
a lot.
I think that's very important reminder and very important message. So thank you, Maya, for sharing this. How you find as a Women Dialogue Global Talk Show can be helpful for spreading this awareness, or can be a good way for creating this awareness in society?
Yeah. Okay. The question was how to create awareness in society?
How this platform you find it can be helpful for individuals like you, at the same time, same way the awareness for spreading, like what way they should understand a disability versus working with, and improving those through small mechanism or through steps.
Yes, I think this platform is very useful. It's an extraordinary platform to bring my voice and the voice of the individuals who learn differently and who have disabilities. I would like to see these accommodations in higher education as well. Many colleges are bringing them. More and more, I'm seeing that trend, because the disabilities do not disappear in a vacuum. They have learning, they have their learning and coping skills, but the disabilities are there. And more training needs to be given in higher education, because these children become adults and college students. And if instruction is one size fits all, they're going to suffer in college. They're going to be students with stress. There's going to be students with anxiety, and with mental health issues, because they think they are not caught for that particular.
Yeah, that's so important. I think. Yeah,
I mean, major.
Yeah, that is so important. And as you shared, you have published your book, you are working with children, and as well as you are humanitarian. You work a lot of other way, a lot of voluntary work you do. How you think it can be helpful? Those are looking to connect with you, and how they can connect with you.
Okay. I do my humanitarian activist or advocacy work is related to the climate crisis. And I'm a mentor and trainer for Climate Reality Project. Former Vice President Al Gore. I co-founded the Atlantic Climate Justice Alliance in New Jersey. I wrote, I know this is volunteer work, right? It's what I do to give back to my community, and also because I have a passion about this. I wrote a chapter of the book, Climate Abandon. My chapter was chapter 24, the climate crisis and education, again, related to what I do. And people in the viewers of this video can reach out to me and find me in Facebook as Maria Santiago Valentin. I am also in LinkedIn as Maria Santiago Valentin. I am in Twitter as Maria, Maria, a number 1, and then a capital S, TGO, and as Maria Santiago. And also you can, my email is M as in Maria, S as in Sam, A as in Apple, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, 860 at AOL.com.
Wonderful, wonderful. So thanks a lot, Maria, for sharing your experience, your knowledge, and creating more awareness in the community, in society, and parents, and especially today with our audience and viewers. I hope they will get also some inspiration, motivation to deal with their present or in future or in whatever level they are in their family life, if they have kids or if they are not, maybe in their surroundings, they can share the same wisdom with other parents if somebody is having, and we can create this beautiful world in beautiful way with more knowledge, with more inspiration. So thank you so much for sharing with all these things on this platform. And thanks to our audience and our viewers who are listening and watching us. As you heard from Maria, what means to be education, how it requires to get different kind of tools, and we have to adapt with different tools, whether it is elementary or higher education, and get ready our kids to be ready for the real world, real challenge, without finding any discrimination or any disability in them. So that's it for today. I wish you all the very best, and I will come back with one more new knowledge and new speaker and new episode. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.